Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman by heading over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
The syncing is a real fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
We managed to work it out.
Well, of course. I mean, you two are old professional wizards at this point.
Yeah, we're so
Couple
professional.
of fucking Merlins over
Hell
here.
yeah.
Solving sound problems with your goddamn talents.
Couple of court magicians over here.
Paramerlins.
Yeah, just a
That's us.
Oh man, that should be a show, Paramerlins.
Yeah.
Paramerlins.
Couple of
Where
Merlins.
we-
The couple of Merlins.
Yeah.
We could amaze each other by describing magic tricks
Yeah.
that we would do.
Oh,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Hell yeah, that's
Yeah.
the key.
Yeah.
That's the key.
The enchantment is the good time we had the whole time listening to it.
Exactly.
No one ever does a magic show podcast where they just describe magic
We
shows.
could be the first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just describing a card trick? My God,
Yes,
it's
I
riveting.
can. It would be
Oh,
the
it'd even
best
be better
show.
for stage magic where it's like, all right, he's dancing with the lady for a while.
He's
They're in like an
some,
attic that's really dark for some reason.
Some intense synth music is playing. He's
Yeah,
Yeah.
he looks at a picture of a flower and then he pulls a flower out of it. The audience applauds.
Imagine the amount of fog there is. Now triple it. That's where
Yeah.
we are,
Yeah.
motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
God, we're so fun.
Picture the wind machine. Trick question. You can't. It's too intense.
Wrong. It's that and more.
He's literally floating. There's so much wind.
Some good magic.
Yeah.
Man, every time I feel like this is just a font of creativity. Every time the three of us meet,
Yeah,
just all
somebody,
yeah.
kinds of podcast ideas.
somebody should be recording this so that we could have all these
I wish
ideas.
a person
We're what are we, a dyad? Is that the thing in Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That's us.
yeah.
Yeah.
Our powers.
That stupid fucking thing is exactly
Yeah.
what we are.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely I'm hoping to be the clone fastened to a fucking meat hook for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's
my
what you want.
aspiration.
That's what I want my retirement to be. Is just an
Future
old
goals.
a soggy old corpse dangling from a fucking techno hook.
He is soggy. That's
yeah.
actually the worst thing about him is he's fucking wet all the time.
He's soggy but dry.
Yeah.
Like it feels like the parts of him that are soggy are the parts that should be dry, and the
Right.
parts that are dry are the parts that should be soggy.
Right, he's got
You've
a
nailed it,
fucking
my friend.
desert in his mouth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just dust, just caked with dust with every breath.
Yeah, it's the goby in it between his teeth for sure.
What a beautiful man.
Yeah, what a great
Well-
career he's had.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hi, everyone.
hello
Wow.
everyone.
Jeesh.
I'm Tom Ryman,
I'm David Bell.
and I
I'm-
forget how we start this episode.
Yeah, you really. I don't know what you're doing here, Tom. You're
You're
going
skipping
rogue.
around. It's like you're
hi, everybody.
Welcome,
Welcome.
Hypecast!
Welcome to Hypecast.
Woo!
The show where we get hyped about stuff and things. Now I'm Tom Ryman.
Yeah, and again, I said it earlier.
It's a fucking blur, all right? It's a fucking blur. We do 150 of these goddamn things every week.
Yeah,
They all
yeah.
start kind of differently.
And we're
Yeah.
so fucking grateful you're listening. We're so fucking grateful. I remain Adam Ganser, the guest, by the way. Just wanna get that in.
That has not changed.
How are you, Adam?
Dave, I told you, quarantine didn't steal my cheer today, bro. Didn't
Sure.
steal it.
You're
I'm
full
coming
of
in
cheer.
Full of cheer. Yeah, I don't know why. Just in a great goddamn mood.
You're a bowl of spunk.
Ooh.
That's right. Tasty seasoned spunk just for you to digest.
Just rich, gloopy spunk.
Well, welcome.
Gloopy. Thank you. I feel welcome. Yeah.
Is it good? You feel welcome?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
This
you
is-
should.
this
feel
is-
hyped?
It's great. It's great.
It's a warm sonic embrace. I feel included. Yeah.
All right. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still have trailers. They still exist.
Yeah, there's still some.
I was
Yeah,
shocked
movies
to
have
see
not
that.
gone away.
I was legitimately shocked to see that. I was like, oh shit, there's going to be real content here.
Oh yeah. We haven't gotten to the version of this podcast where we just talk about our day, and like maybe talk about trailers we wish we saw.
Yeah,
We
that's
should start
coming.
making up trailers. We could start doing that.
Dude, there will never. My mundane existence can be hyped as well as anything else can these days.
Yeah. Yeah, book it right after the Magic cast.
Yeah.
Magic cast.
You want to hear how my walk this morning was? Because I'll fucking tell you.
Kind of
was-
interested.
10 minutes. That's it.
That's bad. I walked
Yeah.
to go move Alex's car in the rain. That
Good.
was the extent of the exercise I will be getting today.
Is there a chance it's going to just rain for a year? It just feels
I
like
hope.
it might rain for a year.
I'm loving this
Yeah,
rain.
it is forever rain.
Yeah, it
It's
really
real.
is.
It's real cozy. I feel real cozy. I like the rain for. I don't know. I've always liked rain because it made me feel like I'm not a piece of shit for leaving the house.
Yeah. It's a justification, a
Yeah.
liquid justification for your life.
It's one of many justifications for not leaving the house right now.
Yeah.
So this podcast, Ganser, I don't know if you know this. I feel like you know this.
Let's
Has
see.
producers now.
Oh my god, I couldn't believe how many.
Yeah,
There's
I say
a
that
lot.
like it's new.
There's a lot.
Yeah, we're getting more producers every day.
What a thrilling development for Gamefully Unemployed. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So we got producers. We're gonna let you guys know who those producers are throughout the episode. We have so many that we used to put them all in the beginning, and now we're kind of spreading it around. Maybe we'll mix it up. Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? You know?
I don't know.
I have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen.
Okay, that's fair.
But please
That's
continue.
confident. I like that.
Our first producer of the episode is Dr. Kitty, MD.
Oh, Dr.
That is
Katz?
Dr. Katz. Yeah.
Dr. Kitty.
Yeah, this is very good. This is a very good name. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too. It's a kitty that
Yeah, solid name.
achieved a doctor status. Who are we to question?
It's
it?
difficult
We
to do.
need-
It's difficult
Yeah,
to do for a
and-
cat.
Yeah, and our medical professionals are very important right now.
We
Oh
need
my
as
God.
many as we can get. Put masks on cats and fucking throw them in the hospitals.
Yeah.
Oh my
if
god,
they
a
know.
mask on a cat?
Get them in.
Adorable.
Get them in there.
Yeah.
Get these cats practicing medicine.
Give it a scalpel and set it loose.
Yeah, just
Absolutely.
It doesn't
fucking
need a
just
scalpel.
tape it to its foot.
Clunk around the hospitals.
Trying to
spreading
shake it
at
loose.
least
Trying
cheer.
to shake that scalpel loose and it never comes
Yeah.
loose.
Just running and hiding under equipment. We never see it again.
Yep. Well, that's what
Yep.
we want from our medical professionals.
Our second producer is Mr. DNA.
Mr. D.
Well done. From your blood.
Thank you, Mr. DNA.
Yeah, great.
Thank you for that name.
Sure.
Third is Lauren Gucci. Thank you, Lauren.
Woohoo!
You're wonderful.
Woo!
Next we have Bootler Bootlesson.
Thank you, Boots.
Thank you.
Grumblebee.
Yeah, Grumblebee. What an epic name. Beautiful.
Tux.
Tux.
I like
Tuckums.
Tux
Tucking
benefits.
around.
Tux benefits from the order. Like
Yeah.
just perfect time for the name Tux to come in.
Tux. Not
Well
tux
done.
like tuxedo, mind you. Tux like you're hiding something.
Yeah, like tucking it.
Tux like a verb.
Yeah. Tux
Yeah.
like you're
Verb.
doing some close-up magic.
Yeah.
There you go.
Adam, you want to finish out the rest of these names?
Sure. Welsowski. Beautiful.
Wilsowski.
Sure. Shepherd Mulch Diggums.
MD.
That's a lot.
The mulch.
And everyone's favorite, Norm from Cheers.
Thank you, Norm.
Sure. Like that. Sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you to all. We We care for you.
We
Yes.
haven't seen you, but we know you're beautiful.
Yes.
You guys want to talk about some trailers?
Oh my God, do I?
Holy shit! I thought you would literally never ask.
This was a fucking clown car this week, by the way. We're
Yes.
shepherding some real weirdos in this little shuttle we're driving.
Oh yes.
We talk
this
about
is
the
a weird
trailers,
one.
or
The trailers, but maybe the producers too. Who can say?
yeah. I'm sure that goes. It's always a clown car.
Right.
First trailer is Extraction
Oh
Yes.
my
with
God, it
Thor.
is. Yeah.
This is the Chris Hemsworth movie that's coming to Netflix in 2 weeks. That's produced by the Russo brothers.
Yeah, produced by the Russo brothers.
Yeah.
Just want to comment really quickly. You can't go. I don't feel like you're entitled to the title visionary director when you're producing the movie.
They do this all the
No.
damn time.
You can't
It's
do
very
that.
weird.
Right. That's nothing. That doesn't work. For me.
Well, also it's like from producers Joe and Anthony Russo, visionary directors of Avengers Endgame. How visionary was Endgame?
Right. Who called them visionary? Can you give me
Listen.
a quote? Can you
Listen,
source
we,
it?
we sat down and we envisioned $5 billion.
Yeah. This is actually
We thought of money and it took this form. Right.
this is actually directed by a stuntman.
Yes,
did-
no, this,
Ooh.
yeah, this. I've heard from people who have seen this movie at Collider that this is actually extremely good. It's like
Well,
Chris Hemsworth and John Wick, apparently.
That's
yeah, you see
interesting.
those fucking stunts?
Yeah,
The
they're
part where he does
crazy.
Well, it's also mixed with the cinematography where the car does that like slide and then the it like spins and the camera
Yeah.
goes in the window of the car, and it looked like they legit did that. Maybe not, but what's clear from this is that we're seeing some pretty normal stunts. Helicopter crash,
Yeah.
car chases,
Yeah.
jumping for a building, but they're shot and the actors are reacting in such a way that they feel huge.
There's actually a rich tradition of stunt coordinators becoming directors. This is not the first time that's happened.
No, the John Wick guys.
That's great. No, and there's one before this, Tom. One that I have a little tiny story about. You ready for this shit?
I'm ready. Unleash it.
David Ellis, I believe was his name. David Ellis, the director of Snakes on a Plane, also was a stunt coordinator. And I met him once a month before he died, Tom. A month before he died, I was connected to him through USC. And Tom,
Right.
I can't tell you everything that he said, but I can tell you that there was no greater lament in his life than Snakes on a Plane. He was
Really?
He was
his
not
white whale?
excited. He was not excited about the level of hype that Snakes on a Plane got and the reasons it got it. And I don't want to make fun of the guy. He was very sweet. He met with me. He was very kind.
That movie's a gift.
I know, but he did not feel the way we feel about it at all.
Right. That's kind of the sign of a movie like that. Like, I wouldn't call Snakes on a Plane terrible.
No, I think it's good in its own way.
Well, it has an element of so bad it's good in a couple parts. But the way, I think it's essential for those movies to be that kind of entertaining. The filmmakers need to be earnest.
I just kind of wish I
Yes.
could have carted you out in front of him and had you explain that to him as he was
Yeah.
telling me about how
Yeah.
frustrated he found the press on Snakes on a Plane.
I think about the movie Birdemic
Yeah.
and interviews with the director of that who legitimately was trying to make a movie. And
Right.
it's like you feel kind of bad because it's like, oh no, that's not what a movie is.
Oh well,
But, like-
you failed completely, sir.
But he's brought me so much joy.
I think
Through
so.
that.
Like, I want to be clear. He's not Tommy Wiseau. He's not making.
No.
He's not making a movie by accident. That's like, oh my god, I can't believe this movie. I think
Sure.
he understood schlocky stuff. I just think that he didn't like the kind of attention he was getting.
Right. It got very memed. They had to
Yes.
reshoot the film.
Yes,
right.
right.
Because
That was
of a
part
meme.
of the problem. Yes.
And I can see the producers going to him and being like, you got to do this. You got to do it. And him not wanting to.
You're depicting exactly his frustration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That checks out.
Yeah. Very sweet man, though. I had a lunch
Yeah.
with him, and he was very kind.
That's cool.
Well,
This has
all right.
nothing to do with
Nothing to do with
Sorry.
Extraction.
I just thought you'd really
Well,
like
there's
it.
not.
There's
There's not too much to say about it. It just looks really. It looks really
this
fun.
looks really awesome. Yeah, I'm actually
It's like
I'm
a buddy
pretty excited
action
to watch
film.
this.
I have
Yeah, it's-
I have one small critique. Just
Okay.
I also thought it looked good. The critique is that like we're tired of a trope that actually made these movies better. And the trope that made these movies better was this guy doesn't want to help people. You know what I mean? Like, and they kind of allude to it in this. Like, they allude to he doesn't always go and extract people.
He just wants to get paid. It seems
Right. But like the like narratively, even though we've seen it 1,000 times, like you still kind of want him to intrinsically not care about this kid. Like it makes it better that he has to lug the kid around, and that's clearly not what this movie's gonna be. And I'm like, man, I kind of wish that we weren't so tired of that trope.
I love thinking about the pitch to this movie because the pitch must have been like, okay, there's this guy, right, and he's really good at extracting things. He's like a whole extractor.
He's like a fucking
And he's
tractor
like,
beam. He's just
yeah,
kicking
he's
shit
real
out.
good at it.
Yeah.
And this one time, he has to extract someone, and it's pretty difficult. And that's the movie. And it's like, all right, here's all the money in the world.
Right.
And it works because it's an action film, and that's what action films need to be. It's just funny to think about how you pitch this as about the action first. And then they're like, by the way, what's the plot? And you're like, yeah, it's some extractor guy.
Well, I mean, the simpler the premise is for a movie like this is the better.
Exactly.
You know?
Except for it does. That's true. Except for people still go nuts for irony. Like they still go nuts for irony, and like that's why in a room, I'm sure that this isn't how this got done. But if it was actually in a room where they were just hearing ideas all day, if you said the pitch and said like, and guess what, he fucking hates kids. Like a kid killed his dad or some shit. You know what I mean? Like that kind of trope. It gets it. People like it because they're like, yeah, that would make the movie better. But we're tired of it now.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely. The kid in this seems very entertaining.
Right, they're not doing the traditional. They're not doing what you would expect them to do with like,
Correct.
action guy gets paired with irritating kid. Like the kid's not like that.
Right.
Yeah, they don't. They're not doing the tropes at least, where it's like the kid's like, "Whoa, this is crazy! I'm gonna make jokes."
Yeah,
I do
I'm
like
gonna be
the premise that
obnoxious kid, right?
Yeah.
I like the premise that it's a drug lord's kid. So I think that'll be a dynamic there. Is that like the kid might like his dad, and Hemsworth will be like, "Your dad is garbage," or something like that. I hope. I can only hope.
Your dad's trash.
You get trash, dad, kid, and I'm gonna clean it up. Yeah, I hope it goes like that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's nice to see Hemsworth. Like, Hemsworth is one of those people, post Avengers, even though he's not done there, where you're like, I want to see what their choices are now. Because they've been doing the Marvel stuff for so long. So, like, Chris Evans seems to actually want to do drama.
Yeah.
And Hemsworth is just like, nah, man. I'm going to kick the shit out of people.
Well, Hemsworth was in that movie with John Hamm, the neon rest motel movie. What the hell was the name of it? Showdown
Oh
at the El
yeah,
Rey.
he was so good in that.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but it looked offbeat for him.
Bad
right?
Times at the El Royale. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He essentially plays Manson in it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He seems to lean towards comedic roles or action roles, though, because role in Bad Times is it's a comedic.
It's
villain.
comedic. It's comedic, but he has definite
scary.
he has definite menace to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a built, handsome, gruff dude. So yeah, he's going to be in action films till he hits 40 or whatever.
Oh yeah. Oh, not 40, like 70, right?
What do you think? He's Sean
That's what
Connery?
they do now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like look at how Rambo and Brillis and shit. They're gonna. We got a new Indiana Jones coming.
How
These
many more
motherfuckers are gonna be
cannons are we going to
90.
shoot Stallone out of until he's like?
Yeah.
Until he stops being so sharp, he cuts fucking air. That's when we stop shooting him out there. That man's made of sharp edges. And let's not anoint Chris Hemsworth the new Stallone. Let's wait one fucking minute. Let's let him scream Adrian from the hilltops once before we believe in him, okay? Just a little
All
bit.
right, give him a Demolition Man.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, please give him a Demolition Man.
Give him a Copland. I'll get on board with him if he makes a
Oh
Copland.
shit! Yeah,
Both.
have him be all deaf. and sad.
Oh, yeah. Discovering cops are bad. That's a thing I already think.
Is that what Copland's about?
No, but kind of. Yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
I don't think I've seen Copland.
He's
the
basically he's the sheriff of this town where all these cops live, and he's the only reason he's the sheriff is because he's kind of like this doughy sad sack, and he just basically lets the cops get away with everything until something really serious happens. Then he has to step up, and none of them take him seriously.
It's very good. It's a very good movie.
Actually quite good. Yeah,
it's Mangold, I believe. It's his big movie, his first big movie, James Mangold.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I'll see it. I think I might have seen it already, but the
big deal was that like Stallone gained a bunch of weight and wasn't really in shape for it.
Right.
Like, he really leaned into the role of being like this kind of sad guy, the sad sack.
Harvey Keitel plays exactly what he should.
Harvey Keitel plays bad lieutenant.
Yeah, Harvey Keitel's crushing the universe as he always does. You know.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, so check out Copland, everyone. Next trailer.
We've talked about like 3 different movies in the context of Extraction. So it's time to move on.
Yeah.
How to Build a Girl.
Boy, oh boy.
This has got
Beanie Feldstein.
From Booksmart.
And Theon.
And they gave her, or she gave herself, someone gave her a British accent for this, which is fine.
Somebody handed her one, yeah. Somebody was giving it out, yeah.
And it's basically, it's like Almost Famous.
Yes, it's exactly Almost Famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Pretty much, except she creates a persona, and I don't think Fugit does.
That's the thing that I thought was way more interesting about the movie, and they kind of buried it, you know? Like, I was like, oh, can we learn a little bit more about the person she's creating? Because that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a weird premise. I don't fully understand it. The idea is she wants to become a writer.
She's trying to get a job as like a music critic, and they turn her down because she's not really their vibe. So she invents this persona for herself where she's much more like somebody who'd write for like alternative press.
Right.
Or
so she's
like
just
some
pretending...
kind of cool hip person that she really isn't.
Like somebody that works at Pitchfork.
Exactly.
She goes and listens.
It's funny because this feels like something that just people do all the time, right?
right. It's like catfishing a company. It's basically she goes and listens to like 20 hours of Pavement and realizes, oh yeah, other music's the good music, and she writes for Pitchfork. That's what this story is going to be. I'm a little. The trailer looks good. The plot bothers me because like Almost Famous. That plot kind of bothered me too. Is when it's about someone being a fraud, you always know where it's going to go. Yeah, that's true.
You always know, they're going to probably be found out, and then they're going to be forgiven in some way, have redemption.
Man, I don't remember that being what Almost Famous was about.
Almost Famous is
there's the part where he at the end the magazine finds out he's a kid, and the lead singer lies about
He's
everything.
lying about how old he was. Yeah, that's
exactly. And so it's not the only thing in Almost Famous.
No,
but that particular plot line only has like one place to go, because it's not like I'm going to pretend to be something I'm not, and then everything will work out and no one will know. Like that's never how it's going to go, right?
He doesn't get away with it.
At some point. Right. Yeah, they have to face that conflict.
I mean, that's the whole movie is everyone has to face the truth, capital T. But, like, it's also... I just watched this movie, coincidentally, like about a week ago. It's a lot more toothless than I think this movie, How to Build a Girl, is going to be, except for Kate Hudson's journey.
Sure.
Kate Hudson's journey is like, oh, my God. And you can see why she became such a big star.
Right.
She's a star.
It's a great part, and she's good in it.
Oh, she's so good in it. Yeah. The rest of it's not as good as you remember, or it feels very dated to me.
Right.
But this one,
I bet.
I love the scene where Frances McDormand screams at Billy Crudup on the phone.
Yes, that's the other good part of the movie is that one moment. Yes.
Like, dude, your mom is scary.
Yeah, but then there's just all this weird, basically pedophilia the whole way through the movie, and you're like, I don't know, man, this is a little tough.
Right,
just a glaze of pedophilia.
Right. Well, she doesn't know he's underage.
Right. It's not like a little bit either. It's like a thick topping here. It's a hard shell of pedophilia all over.
Dolloping
this movie.
it on. Yeah.
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 Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, I bet this is going to be good.
It looks good, yeah.
I have that going back to Snakes on a Plane. Like I hate plot lines where where like they only have one inevitable conclusion. And it's usually the don't tell someone I'm this or don't do this. Snakes on a Plane transcended that at one point because there's a part where Samuel Jackson tells the guy, don't let anybody in first class, and they build it up like, oh, this is going to be a big conflict, and then he lets everybody into first class, and Samuel Jackson shows up and he's like, oh yeah, I guess that's fine, and then the movie continues. And I was like, oh, thank you, movie, for not making that an issue,
for not making a big fucking deal about it, right?
Yeah, so yeah, maybe that's going to be that for this.
Don't you kind of want this to be a little more adventurous than it looks?
I don't know.
I do. I want it. I really want. Like, I don't want the catfish story per se, but like, there's a part of me that wants this to be like Simone or some movie like that, where it's like, my God, it's like a really serious.
Did you
fiction.
say you want this to be about
something
like
to
Simone?
be like Simone?
You're welcome, Dave. You're not the only one with stupid ass takes. I came in with one today. Came in with a fucking Green Goblin's
Man,
worth
you
of
came
God, even I am
screaming in here with
outraged.
that like a Sidewinder missile.
Yeah, I am outraged.
Simone?
Only
Sim 1?
You're welcome. Only in this one sense that it has Al Pacino in it. No, I'm just kidding. Only in this one sense that that it's really more about the level of the fiction and the believability of the fiction that she creates than it is about the sort of coming of age piece, which I find fine, but not that compelling because we've seen it a bunch of times.
There's a lot of talent in this, so I have a feeling
Sure.
I'm just going to enjoy it. But I know what you're saying. I like a smaller movie, though. I like it just being about somebody. Just one character trying to build a persona and not a CGI actress.
Well, I'm not saying that we need... You know what? Actually, I am saying it, Dave. You're right. We need CGI actors in this movie. No.
right.
I'm saying
All right.
it, like Lars...
We got Al Pacino in there.
Get him in there. No,
Get him in there.
yeah.
Put a top hat on her.
Give it all you got. That's my favorite line ever by Al Pacino.
She's gonna kiss Theon. She does. She kisses Theon.
That's fucking weird.
She kisses Theon.
Oh, that's right. What if he had to play a eunuch the rest of his career? It's like, no, I'm sorry. It's in your contract now. That dick's been cut off, my friend.
I don't know. He managed to come out with one of the better characters, so I don't think he's too upset about that.
You mean from Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd contest that. I think that Theon was boring. Like he bored me at my core.
Okay.
At my core, I hated him. But I understand if people like him, and I don't think he's bad. I just think it was too much of the same.
Yeah, well, that's a whole Game of Thrones conversation.
It sure is. Book another hour and a half, guys, because that's...
Nope.
No, I understand. So... I understand. I'm not really trying to go down that trail. I'm just saying that like another maybe comparison is Lars and the Real Girl is a movie about the fiction sort of taking a life of its own. Do you hate that movie?
No, I really like that movie.
I love that movie. Yeah, it's one of my favorites, and it's a
That is
very
an excellent film.
It really is, and it's a very it's about a sort of fiction that everyone holds up or propagates, and I think that's not a bad way for this movie to go either. You know?
Yeah, you wanted something wilder. I get it.
I do. I'm sorry, Dave. Forgive me.
No. I get what you're saying. Is that it doesn't have to be Simone, but like some sort of element to make it really pop out as a. Yeah. No, I get you. I don't know.
Thanks, Dave.
That's probably that's not the worst idea, but I think this will be pretty entertaining on its own. I guess the catch is that she talks to her photographs.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought it was
yeah.
a Harry Potter movie for a little bit there.
Right, yeah, for a second there, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. I was fine with that.
Yeah, they don't explain that at all.
It's just her imagination.
Yeah, right. It's just a tone thing they're gonna do. It's fine as long as none of them are like call her Harry Potter or whatever. It's fine.
It would be amazing if the halfway through the movie comes to a screeching halt when she brings someone into her room and they're like, "Oh my God, why are they talking?" And she's like, "Oh shit, you can see that too." And they're like, "I think your room is haunted,"
Right.
and like that becomes the movie.
right. And then she goes,
Where
"Why
they
is
just
he
have to-
nearly headless? Why is he nearly headless?"
Ah.
Right.
Should we talk about the next one?
Yes, absolutely.
Sure.
Are we ready for that?
I'm ready.
We feel good. We're pumped up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yes.
the Midnight Gospel. This is a TV show.
Yes, it's a series by the creator of Adventure Time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess you have to be real high for this one.
Yeah.
I know I will be.
Yeah. It's just Rick and Morty minus the main characters, right?
I think we're going to get a lot more abstract cartoon premises because of Rick and Morty, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
And this is the first of those.
And I don't think this is necessarily a derivative of Rick and Morty. I think it's just a case. It's going to be. There's going to be those too, but I think this is going to be a case of more people will be willing to take chances on kind of crazier ideas like that.
Yes, and I love the look of this.
Oh yeah, no, this looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah, the style
I'm
of
not
it
sure
is
about
very
the humor. There was no jokes in this that made me laugh.
Yeah, agreed.
But the look and the feel of it was really cool.
I mean, to be honest, though, if they'd shown a trailer for Rick and Morty, before it came out, I don't know if we would have laughed at that either.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of willing to at least give it an episode to see what it is.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Based on the look.
Yeah, well, a lot of comedies are like that, which is that they can't put their best jokes in a trailer because a lot of the jokes are repeat jokes throughout the movie or have dirty words in them. There's a million reasons it's hard to get humor across in a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So most comedies don't look funny in the trailer, I think. Right?
It's been a while since I saw a comedy trailer that was like, oh my God, I got to see that.
Yeah.
Right,
It's probably
right,
The
yeah.
Hangover, honestly, was the last time I saw a comedy trailer that was like, wow, I got to see that.
I'm trying to think of what mine might have even been just Super Troopers. It might have been that long ago.
Or Scott Pilgrim was another movie that looked funny in the
Oh,
trailers,
yeah.
and it was fantastic.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. But yeah, this, I don't know. This looks very interesting.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely watch this.
Okay. Then it's agreed.
Yeah, it's agreed. We shall watch
We've
this.
agreed.
Yeah.
All right. I guess next trailer is the half of it. This is
this was interesting. For the first half of this trailer,
half of it.
I thought it was just, this is Cyrano de Bergerac again, right? This is Roxanne,
right. It's more like remember The Truth About Cats and Dogs?
I do.
Yeah.
A little. Sure, a little
It's
bit.
got Truth About Cats and Dogs vibe where it's someone courting someone else through someone else's body.
Yes. Which,
Can I be honest with you? I thought this looked fantastic.
Yeah.
I really did. I was like, this is a great idea.
I almost didn't put it on because I started watching the trailer and I was like, oh, is this just a coming-of-age teen thing? Mm-hmm. And then the more you get into it, you're like, oh, shit. This looks really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm especially hoping that the love interest ends up being a much more developed character. Because then it would be a really strong new way to do this kind of movie, which is essentially like what's the Shakespeare play that it's based it's like?
It's what I was
Truth About
talking.
Cats and Dogs.
Right, it's what I was talking
thank
about
you,
at the beginning. Is Cyrano de Bergerac, and that Steve Martin movie Roxanne is an adaptation of it.
And I can't think of the name of it.
No, neither can I.
I've been saying it, but you guys just don't want to hear it.
That's not what it is.
Yeah. No.
Shakespeare's The Truth
I
About
keep telling
Cats
you,
and
it's
Dogs.
Simone. Shakespeare's Simone.
You gotta get the right words in there.
What if Al Pacino had a role in this? Played one of the teenagers.
What if he
Played
was
the
the
guy.
one telling the teenager what to say?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what needs to happen. And I'm thinking of all these quotes I can't say, but my God, are they good?
Now tell her you want to drink applesauce out of a shoe. Why would I tell her that? Why would I tell her that?
Tell her you're
Do it!
You go to her, you tell her you want to drink all the applesauce out of her shoe. So just tell her! Tell her!
God, they need to remake this movie immediately.
Yeah, and just not.
I mean,
not,
I'm sure
not
this is going
address,
to be good too.
Not address the fact that he's a 78-year-old man. Just cast him as a high school student.
Yeah, dress him like a high school student.
Fuck it.
I love
not?
his new like growl language. He's got he's gone his most recent incarnation, which has been for like the last 10 years. He can't get a single thing out without passing it through like 80 tons of stone.
Yeah,
It's like a Brita filter in his throat.
Yeah,
he just can't
really
get it out. It's great.
My goodness. Yeah, it's great.
People should check out this trailer though. It's
right. Yeah, it's the premise is this. There's this nerdy kind of girl who makes a side business writing papers for everybody in high school. So then this boy comes to her and is like, I need you to help me write love letters to this girl that I have a crush on. So that starts being that where she's like feeding him what to say to her, and then discovers that maybe she's also attracted to her, and then maybe they're attracted to each other. It's this whole big mess of like figuring out who you are and you know.
Yeah, they're just riddled with puberty.
Right. They really are. And
Yeah.
it's in a way, it's like sort of a more authentic way, in my opinion, to do a love story in this age range, because like it's really good to depict it as being confusing, because
no one knows what the fuck's going on.
No, because it's a
in this
fucking
trailer.
nightmare.
yeah, it really is. It's like
You don't know what's going on.
right. It's like being spun around with a blindfold for 4 fucking years by your body.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like
You're
what?
like, well, maybe I like this. And then you try it, like, no, I don't, maybe, I don't know. Like,
maybe this likes me. Nope, it doesn't like me.
no, it doesn't like me, but I don't know if, it really seems to capture that perfectly. And it's nice that we're in a bit more progressive times now where you can make a movie like this and it's not like, quote unquote, a big deal. It's just like, no, this is what it's like to be a fucking teenager going through this shit.
Yes.
Yeah, it's comforting to know teenagers get to watch stuff like this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that is comforting. The only thing that would make this like more fascinating and more connected to like the way I experience all this is like if there were just world events that were shaping everybody's opinions about things for a month at a time.
Oh yeah, just 9/11 happens.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that was all of our coming of age story.
We grew up.
I was
that
already
day.
in college, but yeah.
Oh,
Me
okay.
too.
I think I was still in high school. Yeah, it's like super bad if halfway through everybody was like, "Hold up," and all check their phones like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes.
And then the rest of the movie is them sitting silently.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like it's super bad, and then halfway through, Kennedy gets assassinated.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's love, baby. That's love, baby.
Yeah, that's coming of age right there. That's the good
now
shit.
I want to make a teen sex comedy around the Kennedy assassination.
Enjoy your
man.
feels, kids. Yeah.
Where would it be where one of the kids is trying to get laid and accidentally shoots Kennedy in the
Yeah,
process?
sure. Why not?
Yeah.
It would be
Sure,
like
Dave.
it would be McLovin.
Yeah, McLovin.
Like he's trying
killed
to fuck a pie or whatever, and then he tumbles down the grassy knoll and lands on a sniper
right
rifle.
on that
and goes
grassy,
off.
right on that grassy knoll, thinking he's going to impress his girl or whatever with a quick
Yeah.
sniper shot.
Impress this girl by fucking a pie. Oh, it's perfect. It's foolproof.
Well,
God,
to
we're
his
writing
credit,
so many
To
movies.
This thing's
his
already
credit,
written, basically.
he kept thrusting as he was tumbling down the knoll.
Yeah.
Like he
Oh,
really
yeah.
wanted to stick it to that pie, so everybody knew about his prowess.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, he was a
If
dead
anything,
eye. Any way you look at it. Any way you look at
Yeah.
it, he was a dead eye.
He's
Anyway,
crushing it.
This looks good.
I think so.
This looks
Yeah.
good. I like it.
This looks great.
I'm excited to watch it. Final trailer is The Flood. This isn't getting a lot of buzz.
No, I hadn't heard of this at all.
Yeah, I was gonna put it on more hype, but then I had to do what I did. This is about a guy who's looking for asylum, and several Game of Thrones actors are
Right, and
debating that.
It's up to Cersei Lannister to decide whether or not
Yeah.
to give him asylum.
Not a
a scary
situation
thought.
I'm thrilled about for his sake.
Yeah.
No, that's like the worst possible
Yeah.
situation you could find yourself.
She
in.
hasn't ever unhinged that jaw. That thing's locked shut for the rest of eternity.
Right. No, she's never not 110% 1,000% intense.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
So
Definitely.
She needs to be in more stuff.
Agreed.
she probably
She's-
will be now that Game of Thrones is over.
Right, but it's been too long already. It feels like we should have already seen her in 10 things.
It's weird that it's been almost a year, right?
Maybe she just took a break. I mean, Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
that must have taken up a lot of her time.
Yeah.
It's a year ago this month.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. Yeah, it felt very long. I think this movie looks good.
It does,
I
yeah.
thought, especially given that it's the kind of movie that could be dumb, or not dumb, but like rote. You know,
Yes.
and it doesn't feel like it's gonna be because I like the sort of conflict around the two office employees. Actually,
That's interesting. They also, what makes me more confident in this version is the rote version of this premise tends to make the character seeking asylum more of like a symbol or like a figure.
yes,
Or like it's like, oh, this is this poor man or person who embodies this whole
movement, right?
this whole movement. Yeah, but like this trailer does it's a brief trailer, but this trailer spends the time to make this guy an actual character.
Yeah.
Like we spend as much, if not more, time with him as we do with Lena Headey and Ian Glenn, Sir Jorah.
Yeah.
They're the two office employees.
Yeah,
It's fucking
So,
weird
I
seeing
mean,
them in a room together.
it's possible though. Honestly, it's very possible that those two are barely in the movie. Like it's possible that
I'd be fine with that.
I would
Yeah.
too. I would too. The trailer would be somewhat misleading if that was true, but it'd still be fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
Anyway,
the interesting story is about that guy, not about the
Agreed.
office
Yeah, the guy
people.
who committed
and
treason for saving a life and is now in this off. It's a situation that a lot of people are put in, which is like, if you send me back, they're gonna kill me.
Yeah,
versus a government who's
immediately.
versus a government be like, yeah, but you broke the law, bro, and it's like, fuck you, like they're gonna kill me. It's very topical, sadly.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seeking asylum is not illegal, by the way.
Oh yeah. This is true. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird how little. I think it's not made in America. This movie.
It looks like
It's I think
European
a fairly
film.
indie film, despite the cast. So I don't know. It's not getting much. It's not getting much coverage.
Not get much heat.
No, not at all.
yeah. Let's see. Is there going to be a longer trailer for it, or is this it?
This is probably going to be it.
I don't know, man.
Okay. I think
I'm not the
gonna
boss
see
of
this
trailers.
movie. I think I'm going to see this movie.
Yeah. I'm gonna see this. It might be out on streaming soon. I hope. I don't know.
Okay.
That's it for trailers, you guys.
But
All right. Well, shall we move on to news stories?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, if I'm
Right?
looking at the infamous agenda, it seems like you have some people to talk about, don't you?
Oh, we do. We have a
Oh.
whole bunch more producers to talk
Holy
about.
Gosh,
shit.
it's gosh, Adam. I'm glad
Get
you
on
brought that up.
Let's get on that
Holy
shit.
shit.
Thank you. Hey, thanks. Hey, thank you to Davey Francis. Thank you for being a producer. Same with Chancey Pants.
Great name.
Thank you, Chancey. Chance Pants.
Mm-hmm. Chance in the pants.
Yeah, Chance in the Pants. Space McNulty.
Space McNulty.
Thank you so much. Also, thank you to Captain Fat Strong. God,
Forever,
I love that one.
Forever thank you to Captain Fat Strong.
That one feels like it was just for me. Fat Strong.
I'm pretty sure it's a Tom and Jeff reference. Like I think that's what Jeff called Bane
I see.
in Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I see. Forgive me
great.
for my narcissism. I still love it.
Oh no! I mean, it still rings true for a lot of us out here.
Right. It still sings to my soul.
Yeah. We also got Hiram.
Love it.
Thank you, Hiram.
We also got Oh Great, It's That Guy.
Thank you, Mr. Great.
We also got Leaf.
Leaf.
Yeah.
Leaf.
Thank you.
Leff.
Left.
Bob Grenville.
Great.
Bobby Gran.
Bobby Gran, yeah, he sponsored this week's King Kong. We just watched.
That's true.
The horniest King Kong movie ever
Yeah,
made.
Is it the
that
70s
was
one?
fucking nuts.
It's the 70s one,
Wow.
yeah. It's something else.
That's an epic
Yeah.
decision.
Adam, you want to handle the rest of these names?
Thank you for the invitation. Bart
Oh, yeah, do it,
Fartigan.
man.
Bart Fartigan.
Bart Fartigan, pirate in my heart. Nolan Matten.
Thank you, Nolan.
Nolan Matten. Josh Graves and his band.
JG.
Joshua Graves and his band. And Andrew McGuire.
Andrew McGuire or Am.
It says, is it Amdrew? Is it Amdrew?
No,
McGuire?
I'm saying the initials make a word. Am.
Oh, it's not Amdrew because that's a name. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, like in like in the 1970s King Kong, the lead actress is named Dwan.
Sure is.
Sure is.
Why not?
So news stories. Should we talk about Quibi?
Oh my God, Quibi.
Yeah, we should probably talk about Quibi.
Fucking Quibi.
Quibi launched this
We
week.
sure did.
Yeah.
There was never a time that media was that a form of media was less necessary than Quibi this week.
Oh yeah,
boy.
It's been. I've had to watch a lot of Quibi this week just to write coverage for it.
Yeah.
How was it, Tom?
I watched two shows.
What did you watch?
I watched The Most Dangerous Game
Okay.
with the lesser Hemsworth. I thought that was a 3-minute scene stretched for 7 minutes.
Okay.
But not horrible. It was just like whatever. And then I watched the House Flippers one. I watched the pilot for the House Flippers one. And Will Forte is an infectious human being, so I kind of liked it. But neither of them. I mean, there's part of me. I find Quibi to be sort of an arrogant enterprise, so I'm not like rooting for it. Although the business part of me should be rooting for it because like it would be helpful for me specifically and for all of us if it did well.
Right.
But I also think it just reeks of ignorance. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but
I'm glad you pointed those two out. The Flipped is the other one.
Yeah, Flipped. Sorry.
Which I'm enjoying Flipped.
Yeah, it's okay.
But the problem is those two things you just cited, Flipped and Most Dangerous Game, are movies, like standard movies that were just chopped up into random 7-minute episodes. It's like I think the problem I'm seeing with Quibi is that 98% of its content was not designed for the format.
No, and
like it's a very specific restrictive format that's like you can only watch it on mobile. And it's in very quick bites. So it's like, okay, so just make a bunch of stuff that like plays with the fact that it's on a phone. Like make something like Unfriended that, it's like takes place on a computer screen, but do that for like an iPhone or something. Like nothing I've seen actually makes use of the format. It's just stuff that you would normally see on TV that's just been forced into this incredibly restrictive format.
Well, and
it's
a
just
nightmare to watch it. It's just a nightmare to watch.
Yeah.
Well,
because
that's really what
none of these
makes it feel arrogant to me is that like it's not an attempt to understand or create or innovate. It's an attempt to force. Like we're gonna force the existing formats that you like into a place where you don't want to watch it, even though it's been available to you for 20 years now.
It feels like it's someone betting big on an assumption about audiences that just isn't true. Like it was someone who watched their like nephew watch a movie on their phone and like be like, oh, that's what kids are doing now. They're watching movies on their phone. And when the reality is like, not really. Like no one really wants to watch things on their phone. They will if they have to. But if you have a nice TV or a couch or a friend to watch things with, like if you're quarantined and just want a nice environment, you're not going to hunch over your phone in your bed and like sit there and watch stuff. Like that's not how people do things.
That's something I hadn't considered. Yeah, I've spent a lot of time talking about Quibi this week. I hadn't considered the fact that you can't watch it with other people.
No.
Yeah.
It's a solo experience.
And like, I mean, you can share the episodes, but you can't screenshot them. So it's like, okay, so we can't even have like a social media conversation about this.
You can't.
Right.
You can't share to Apple Play either. You can't AirPlay.
Yep.
which is like,
No, you
get
cannot.
that
Nope.
figured out immediately.
All I've been seeing online.
Katzenberg's been adamant about it will never be something you can watch on television.
Right.
So it'll never have like Chromecast or Apple AirPlay or anything.
I shared this on the Twitter. As Katzenberg, his last hit was Shrek, and then from there he's been pushing. He used the 2000s to push 3D, saying that it was completely the future. So I don't think he has an idea of what people want anymore. Like I just think he's out of touch.
Like he's just very wealthy and so successful that he got another shot at it, basically.
Yeah. Like
I mean,
seems like it's been 20 years since he knew what people wanted.
He was riding high on Disney in the 80s. Like he ran Disney for a while. Then he did DreamWorks. So I think he's just been at the very top of entertainment for so long.
Yeah.
It's just like...
But his predictions about technology have been exactly wrong. So this is more of a technology thing than an entertainment. Like it feels like I'm sure he has the ability to find talent and to tell a good story.
Oh yeah, no, he is.
But this
he's
technology,
been able to lure,
Quibi.
Like, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. It just seems like it repels you. Like it repels people from enjoying this stuff on Quibi.
Well, the thing that I think that they're misunderstanding is making things that are designed for the format. Like the most direct comparison I can think of is like TikTok.
Right.
But like there's even then, like if you make shows that are like, there's a couple of shows like Punk'd or like Dismantled that are well suited for the format. But like if your main idea is like bouncing off of things like TikTok, like even then, like 7 to 8 minute episodes are too long.
Yeah.
Right.
And also production
too long.
value. It doesn't need to be, because TikTok, the beauty of that is it's like real people doing funny shit.
That's really,
same with YouTube.
That's really a key. See, I kind of disagree with you about YouTube, and I say that because
YouTube's gotten to a point where there's now professional shows on it,
right? And that's been true for 8 years. Like that's not a new thing. That's been true for almost 10 years. I mean, Will Ferrell's been making comedy on the internet for 10 years. So like,
but YouTube, I guess YouTube has the ability that it's so diverse, where it's everything from like professional, you can watch movies on YouTube, to people's home videos, that you can choose to go on your PlayStation and say, I'm going to watch a movie on YouTube, open the app, or you can be like, I want to show someone this funny video, look at it on my phone. Quibi is eliminating that first thing.
Right. I actually think that there is a big creative problem here that's not just, he doesn't know what people want. There was no attempt to understand the kind of content that appeals to people who primarily consume media on their iPad and phones. Like,
right.
I think everyone just sort of assumed it's the same way I was when I was in film school. It's like you think about YouTube videos or whatever, and you sort of turn your nose up at them and say like, oh well, let real filmmakers get involved. You know what I mean? And on the real formats. And I feel like that's what happened here. And there was no attempt to be like, how could I make a creative version of this content that actually is packaged for young people?
You're very right, Adam, because it is like asking Spielberg to make something for your phone. That's not a good use of that.
Well,
because Spielberg makes movies. Like, no, because he's a classic filmmaker. They're not going to understand that. They're going to do things the way they want to do it, right?
It was very hard for me, for instance, and I'm just like I'm a lowly internet filmmaker. Okay, like
it makes sense.
It was hard for me to accept certain amounts of DIY filmmaking that we had to do it cracked, because I wanted to make professional stuff, and like it took me a while to like get on board with make good funny content in this format, and that is good filmmaking.
Right.
You know, it doesn't have to look like a fucking, like Blade Runner 2040 whatever for it to be good. You know,
right.
And it doesn't have to be that kind of narrative for it to be interesting and entertaining.
But these people they're like, oh, I need to make something for Quibi, the app for your phone. What should I do? I guess I'll remake The Most Dangerous Game.
Right, which is
like
okay,
what a bad idea for that.
I mean, I like that. I like The Most Dangerous Game as a narrative trope, although we're seeing a lot of it.
It would be Well, no, that would be great as a Netflix show.
Right.
That would be great as a movie. It's not good for a show that you can only watch for small increments on your phone. Like, that format just doesn't fit that premise, right?
I mean, it's not great. I also, it's not great. My other comment would be like, this is, and now I'm going to do the actually high art nerd filmmaking stuff. So,
oh yeah, fuck us up,
I
man.
don't.
Fuck
It's
us
not
up.
that. It's I don't.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Give me the sweet juice. Give it all you got. Anyway, so I don't. I like watching the shows on the phone. The framing of things was very much like traditional movie framing, although we just miss 90% of the frame, right? Like that's how they chose to shoot these things, and
That sounds terrible.
it's not good. I didn't think. You have to have somebody who's thinking very creatively about this window, like this weird little window, to make films that make it interesting. Like, for instance, I was watching The Most Dangerous Game, and I thought, why wouldn't we just have two boxes here and watch both of them the whole time? You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't we do the shield?
That'd be interesting,
The
yeah.
shield of this, where it's like we have two squares, and we're watching two shots of it at the same time. Because, like, again, the phone...
Oh, that would be really cool.
would
And like
be
if you're
cool.
seeing them, like the whole hunt,
Yes.
you're just seeing their point.
Yes.
That would be really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
a really good
And that
idea.
would take advantage of the way the frame is, and it would heighten the experience of needing to stay paying attention to your phone. Like you're riveted to this.
And needing to watch
Yes,
it on the phone
because
I think
specifically.
what it is, Tom, you discussed this, is that since the artists retain the rights to everything,
Yeah.
they want it to not be for Quibi.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean,
They're gonna eventually show this as a real movie. So
Oh yeah,
they're
Most
like,
Dangerous Game is definitely going to be on Amazon Prime in 2
can
years.
you imagine
Yeah.
what everyone's going to be so quote unquote shocked to find out that they actually shot it to look like a real movie and then just cropped it for Quibi, and there's like cool
Right.
shots that are framed correctly
Well,
in the real movie.
because think of it. I've heard a couple Quibi shows actually do what you're describing. They do interesting things with the phone change. But imagine being a filmmaker and this company coming and being like, we want you to make this for our very specific phone company, and we encourage you to format it in a way that only works for this. I'd be like, no, I'm not doing that because you're going to exist for a year and then my
Right.
thing will
And it's
disappear
gonna look
forever.
stupid, right? Exactly.
Yeah. So nobody wants to commit to that idea because Quibi seems dumb. And like, or at least they don't think it's a good enough
No one's sure yet.
idea
Yeah, no one's
to,
sure yet.
to remake The Most Dangerous Game in Quibi format because they're
Well, they just-
essentially
they just made
inventing a
them-
new format.
Yeah, they just made a movie.
Yeah.
The hope still,
So-
I mean, but there is still hope. There's hope that Quibi can drive the amount of money that can be made from advertising up.
Right.
Like, if it can do that, then Quibi is going to be like a gigantic favor to internet creators everywhere. Because,
Oh, yeah.
not because people are going to work for Quibi, but because like there's no fucking money in advertising on the internet, and there should be. You know?
Yes, here's the thing Quibi should have been, which is a new way for, because it's also gotten plagiarism accusations, which to me sums up the exact problem, which is that they put out a show called Memory Hole, which happens to be the exact same title, premise, and graphics of a internet show started in 2014 called Memory Hole from Everything is Terrible.
Yep.
And so what really pisses me off about that, besides the plagiarism, is that what Quibi could have done, because of the format that they're doing, is they could have gone around to sketch comedy people on the internet. The 5-second films and how it should have ended. And all those places that have been looking to, that are struggling for money and been like, we'll produce your stuff. You're already making the content that we're trying to look for.
But that's I 100% know that's not what he was thinking
Of
about.
course
That's
not.
not what Katzenberg was
I
thinking
know.
about.
Instead, like, they plagiarized one of the shows that should have just been a show on Quibi.
If they even,
That's what's so
if they
irritating
even looked,
about
like,
it.
Like, there's a chance to me that there's a chance that nobody ever looked into Memory Hole, And like
someone must have.
and maybe somebody along the way watched it and then just totally in their brain absorbed it and regurgitated the idea unknowingly because
I'm sure,
they didn't even watch any fucking internet videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
It's
there's
hard
there's
to
no
think.
there's no oversight.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure the guy who quote unquote created Memory Hole 100% ripped it off of the old
it's
thing.
unlikely he
And
was
just
unaware. Yeah.
There's no
It's hard to
possible
think
way.
you wouldn't Google that.
Even if you just Googled it to see if like the Twitter handle was available, you would find that fucking show.
Yeah.
Like it's
Also,
the
it's-
same premise and
it's
the
the
same
same
graphic
graphics.
and the same title.
Agreed.
It's really hard to believe that that's a coincidence, especially since they've been being really sketchy now about it. It just seems
Again,
I don't
this
know,
is
man.
you know how Dave, you know how you and I always come back to this one core moral truth that ego ruins everything.
yes.
This is to me a good example of that because like
Yes.
and I mean maybe Quibi will succeed and we'll look stupid in a year. I don't know, but like to me, even commercials had enough like humility to go find the obscure internet filmmakers who are interesting and recruit them to make their thing, but in commercial form. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
like every other format, but these like movie tycoons understands that, and this guy
It's really-
didn't do that.
Yeah, it's really
No.
funny because it's like if you want something to be like something you saw on the internet, yeah, get the fucking person.
Get people who are making shit on the internet.
I do agree that I think ad executives, since they don't think of themselves as creatives necessarily, are way more willing to say, "Hey, let's get those people."
Well, they're all the people. They will be the people who are like, let's get the creatives on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, I think they know what their gig is.
Yeah.
But like, I read in this like Deadline interview that Katzenberg gave like a week before the launch of Quibi, he was talking about like how he was able to recruit all this A-list Hollywood talent, and he was like, my dream thing is Cameron. I want to get Jim Cameron, and it's like, what are you thinking about?
Yeah,
Like,
what
James
would-
Cameron,
do?
first of all, is never going to make anything for an iPhone.
But even if he
and
did,
second of all,
so what?
yeah, like what would it would suck on an iPhone. Like why aren't you going after the people who make shit for this format?
That's the thing is,
Yeah.
That's not the kind of stuff he makes.
It's an old way of thinking. It's like, look, you know, if you get the right names
Yeah.
in the kiosks, it'll all come together. That's like old Hollywood thinking, and it works for the movie business. I'm not here to say it's totally dumb, but like,
No, but this is not movies.
right, exactly. It's not really movies. It's like it'd be like somebody getting into video games and be like, okay, I'm going to get Dan Houser to design a game, and then like, who cares what the game is? It's like, no. What the game is matters quite a bit, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, whole lot.
Fucking Quibi.
So
I
that's
don't hate.
Quibi.
I haven't downloaded Quibi.
We should be rooting
I
for
don't-
Quibi. We should be rooting for Quibi.
I don't know if I can. That show Murder House Flip really just like disgusted me.
Have you actually I think the more disgusting thing about Murder House Flip is actually watching it. Have you seen it?
No,
Not one
I'm not
second.
downloading Quibi.
They don't do anything with the premise.
Really?
Like it's just a normal home renovation show. Like they just like, this house had a murder committed in it, and then they go in and they give the person like a new deck, and then they leave, and that's it.
Jesus Christ.
Like it has almost no, like, it's like they pitched the premise and then just made a normal home renovation show and didn't like address the premise whatsoever.
Yeah. See,
And even though the premise is gross and exploitative, it's like they don't even use it.
They don't
it's just
even
like
do
a
the gross
No,
stuff.
they
It
don't even
sounds
do
like-
the thing. Like it's just
Why in God's name would I mean, okay, first of all, the premise is blah. Why would I want a home renovation show on my phone? Like that's the
Yeah.
opposite of the places I would want to see that.
Why would you want The Most Dangerous Game on your phone? Why would you want that show, that movie Survive, that Sophie Turner one, where it's like she's in a plane crash trapped in the mountains with this other guy and they're trying to live? Why the hell
Yeah.
would you want to watch that on your
mean,
phone? That's like
yeah.
watching The Revenant
I don't
on
wanna
your phone.
I don't want to be a prick because, like, again, you and I and Dave, we've made things for people to watch on their phone.
Right, but they weren't Sophie Turner crashing in the Alps.
No, but we
Yeah, they weren't big budget
No,
like
'cause
set pieces.
only because they didn't give us that. We would have done it. Don't tell me you wouldn't do it because fuck
Yes,
you.
but
Yes,
it
you
wouldn't
would.
have been a good idea.
Like
I don't
our-
want to
like the
watch
stuff- I see what you're saying, but the stuff we made was stuff that was not designed to be watched on a phone, but could be watched on a phone.
Well, I got to tell you, man, a lot of the way that I designed the shots was like, this is not intended to be seen on a big screen. Like, for instance, and I don't know, maybe this is an arrogant thing to say. Like, when I designed rom.com, I was like, look, this has got to be a very loud decision so that it reads on a phone. Because if it doesn't read on a phone, nobody's going to feel the feelings that the filmmaking is for. Mm-hmm. And it was the same thing with all the shows. Because, like, that's why they're always such loud choices. Because a phone is just not as big or as detailed of a window into a piece of media. So you got to make a few very loud choices. So, yes, we did.
Yeah.
You know, we did do that.
I would argue that was still iterative of like making web series.
Definitely, no doubt. Of course it is, and you're right about that. And
that's what it.
And these aren't web series. They're movies.
They should be web series. Seems like
they should be. Flip should 100% have been a web series, but
they're making them. They're like the filmmakers are still making them as if they're going to play on a big screen. So like the performances will be more subtle. There's like it seems like there's like car chases and action sequences that you'd want to see on at least a TV screen. But it's not a little phone.
There's a crazy ass plane crash in Survive.
Yeah, but it's only...
And it's like that doesn't seem like something that should debut. That's something you downgrade to a phone when you're watching it on an airplane.
Right,
you don't debut a movie on a phone. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But okay, so just a very brief counterpoint. I know we've spent some time on this. So like, and I don't say this just from a purely selfish place, but like the entire idea of Quibi is bucking the trend of how people currently consume media. We have said that a bunch of times. And what you guys are basically saying is like, no, the way that we consume media now is the best way. And I kind of like that Quibi and people like the people who are going to make stuff at Quibi are like, well, what if we, like, why does it have to be such a rigidly... why is the phone the wrong way to consume quality media of this type? Like, I like that idea. I just don't think that I don't think that these versions are embracing the tech realities per se.
That's the thing. I've played cell phone games that I considered art.
Sure.
There can be art in this format, and it has to, like you said, it has to fit the format. My issue with Quibi is, kind of what we started with, the arrogance, the fact that they are doing it wrong. But mostly that's like a business side, that's like, why are you doing? The reason I haven't downloaded Quibi is that they have a show that's plagiarized another show, and they have a show that's like the weird murder house flip. Like their shows just seem ghoulish and disinteresting to me.
There's a lot of cynicism in this company so far.
Yeah, and it just seems, and then I read about how they can get around union stuff for having short form content.
Yeah.
Yep. So they're just a very cynical media company that is looking to try to make a lot of money off of paying people even less to make content even worse.
I mean, they were also given.
I don't want to contribute to it.
That's legit. They were also given $2 billion in seed money, which is a fortune.
Oh, yeah.
That's so much money for a company. An insane amount of money.
Yeah, and I do hope people get good gigs out of this. It's not. I think if people can do stuff for Quibi, go for it. But as a consumer of it, I'm just like, I'm not interested. This doesn't seem very good. As a model, as a company,
it hasn't proven its value yet. That's for sure.
Yeah, no one's talking about the shows.
Right. That's the most damning thing, I think. Not necessarily the number of downloads, which was 300,000 the day of, but today they've hit 850,000, which is a little more healthy. But nobody's talking about any of the shows.
Yeah, if you search Quibi on Twitter, it's more just people jokes dunking on Quibi. No one's being like, "Oh, I can't believe this moment in this show," or "Oh, can you believe this character?"
We've noticed none of that. A tiny bit of inside baseball. We've noticed at Collider that Quibi stuff is doing somewhat well on like SEO. So like people are searching for. So people are curious about it. but nobody's finding anything that's like sparking any conversations.
Right. Because you're going to find one or two things it's going to take 2 hours to watch, and then you're done with Quibi, right? Like, it's all so short.
I wonder what would be happening if we weren't in the middle of the quarantine situation. Because, like,
it might be doing better, that's for sure.
Quibi exists to populate a segment of time that doesn't exist right now. Like,
right, a segment of time where you're not in competition with Netflix and Disney Plus and everything else.
The problem is, I don't think that segment of time is like, it's for commuting, right?
Or like goofing off, like on your break or something.
Yeah. They're trying to steal. They're trying to compete with your masturbation time, Tom. That's what this is. This is, you gonna Quibi? You're gonna
wait for jerking off at work?
There is no competition for that. Let me tell you.
Right.
But I guess isn't that what,
time is permanent and etched in stone.
It's working off, by the way, Dave. Working off.
Isn't that what podcasts are for, though? Isn't that what podcasts have filled for people?
I hope so. I'd love to think
Which
of
is
people
going to work, taking a break, being at work and bored, because you can still use your you can drive a car and listen to podcasts. You can you can be like a security guard and listen to podcasts. You can be a police officer arresting a man and have that podcast going in your ear at the same time.
Yeah. While you're wailing on a dude.
Yeah, you can. People, it's easier for people to distract themselves in little moments with podcasts.
Yeah, right. I can consume this content while I'm violating someone's civil rights.
Exactly.
I'm hoping that
but you can't watch Quibi while doing that.
No, I'm hoping that there are people who are willing to listen to us right in the middle of cranking it, Dave. You know what I mean? Like that really helps me. Do my best
there's a whole group of perverts. Yeah. Should we move on from?
I don't know. Should we?
We absolutely should. Yeah, we've been talking about this for way too long.
We have other news stories.
I can't believe that.
Like how Richard Kelly is expanding the film Southland Tales.
Man. My God, what is he doing?
I'm so excited.
I knew you would be.
Yeah, stop it.
This is worse than my Simone take.
Stop it. I have nothing else to say.
Care.
I guess it's like cartoons and stuff. Okay, let's move on.
Sorry,
let's move on.
Yeah.
There's a new Purge film that was shot right before quarantine called The Forever Purge, which seems...
Sure.
I don't know.
Why not?
I think this is what America needs right now.
There's a lot
we do need a Forever Purge.
Unfortunate pieces of content that are near release or about to be released or shouldn't be released right now. R.I.P. Last of Us 2, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I legitimately think people like that stuff during these times. I don't know.
Contagion's number 3 on Netflix, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. It has been in the top 10 since the beginning of March.
It's also a good
It's
movie.
not like 9/11 where it's a very specific thing that movies are trying to avoid. Although I think movies got a little weird about that too when they were like erasing the World Trade Center from movies.
Well, nobody knew how to
coming
behave.
out. No one knew how to behave, and I think it's the same thing here.
Yeah.
Is that they don't know? They're just like, we better not, which is actually probably the best policy.
I don't know.
It's weird too because like the 9/11 as of this recording killed 1/5 of the people so far in America that have died of the coronavirus.
This is true.
Anyway,
Crazy.
I guess what I appreciate though is now that The Last of Us is like, oh, we better not, and everybody's sort of. I appreciate The Purge being like, who wants a new Purge?
Who wants it to keep happening?
Who wants a fucking purge? You got a purge.
Let's do it.
First you binge, then you purge.
I want you to go down there. I want you to get yourself a purge. And I want you to use it forever. Forever.
Forever purge.
It feels good to laugh again.
Who cares? Like, Forever
shit.
Purge is like, sure. It gets absolutely no guff from me.
Fuck me up, purge.
Instant entrance.
Fuck me up.
Sure, come on in.
Yeah.
Yeah, right in. No resistance.
No, not even
Fuck
gonna
me
card
up,
you.
purge.
Just gonna sell you the beer and let you walk out.
The Purge is like pizza, where if someone's like, hey, you want pizza? I'm like, of course I do.
Yeah,
Where it's like, you want a purge?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
Well,
sure.
yeah, of course. Obviously, I want a purge.
I don't
Give me
care
a
where
purge.
it's from. I don't care who made it.
Can I get 2 purges and like save one and watch the purge like maybe later tonight or earlier
exactly.
tomorrow?
A later purge?
Like, that second purge?
Yeah.
A later purge? Yeah.
Can I have the Purge for breakfast and feel really bad
How
about
many
it?
purges can I get right now?
Give me a fucking
I am
handful.
A-okay with The Purge.
Yeah. All right. That's
The Purge
I think
is
that's it for
fortunate enough to
stories.
be slightly more acceptable content than something like Jackass, but has the same
Yes.
rules as Jackass, which is like you can't argue with this. You just let it happen. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
there's no arguing
Right.
with it.
Yeah.
It's The Purge, man.
We're not going to discuss the merits of it. Just fucking watch it, you nerd.
Just let Steve-O
Yeah.
do whatever he's going to do to his junk, and you
Right.
see it, and you kind of
Let-
chuckle. Go ahead.
Let
Enjoy The
fucking
Purge.
Knoxville drive a jet ski through a 7-foot hedge. What are you going to? What are you?
I just saw a
What do
little
you-
bit of that one. Oh my God, Tom, you called me out.
That's so good.
Tom, you called me out. I just saw a little bit of that one. Can I just say
That's three. That's
and
Jackass
I
3.
can't. That's how bad things are right now in America. Is that I
I
watched
might
a
have
little
to
bit.
watch all of those.
I watched a little bit of Jackass 3. Johnny Knoxville's laugh really makes you ask a lot of like spiritual questions after a while. You know, just like how does he? What is it like? Real? Is it a weird put on? I don't understand.
He's got
that
a
shit-
real.
I
like,
mean,
he's got like a Tyler Durden
Yes.
laugh.
Yes.
yeah,
Like, he's
I think.
got-
I mean, I get because I react the same way when I get hurt or when I'm scared, as I just start laughing like an idiot.
Interesting.
So I think that might be it. It's like a way to cope with it.
Interesting.
I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah, because he gets the ha, 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 like this like weird Joker laugh, and you're like, man,
Yeah.
you're a true maniac. Anyway, let's all watch Jackass 3.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Let's do it. Like,
we
what
just
is
watched
exactly?
Jackass 3.
Let's do a marathon where we watch a Jackass, a Purge, a Jackass, a Purge, a Jackass, a
Put your
Purge.
fucking teacups down, you artistes,
Tuck
Yeah.
those
and just
pinky
watch the
fingers in.
Purge. Watch some Jackass. Take that beret off.
You look ridiculous.
Don't ponder the humanity of it. Just watch them fucking chase each other naked down the street.
Yeah.
What's your problem?
It's great.
Yeah.
It's a great time.
That could apply to either
Yeah,
movie
watch
franchise.
them
Yeah.
all shit themselves for entertainment, and then film the other people vomiting because of the shitting themselves. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Do that.
Also, either
sure.
franchise. That could be either franchise. all
that's a
crime is
Purge.
all shits are legal in the
Ugh,
Purge.
Yeah.
I could shit in a mailbox in the Purge. There's not a damn thing they
It
could
would
do
be
to
the.
me.
It'd
Yeah,
be
well, they
the-
could shoot
it'd be
you.
the marquee stunt in Jackass. Just like today, we're doing the shit mailbox. I'm Tom Ryman.
Oh man.
We got more producers, you guys.
Not enough.
Not enough?
I mean,
I guess.
I mean, I don't know. We got Dave. Why don't we just start
forever
listing?
producers.
Okay. We got Ozzy
Yeah.
with the double
Yeah,
Z's.
I love that one.
AU's double Z. Oz. It's all right. Tom.
Uh-huh.
Quasi dangerous levels of hype. K. Thank you. AJ. Edge. Thank you, Edge.
Thanks, Edge.
Tip Drizzle.
Tip
Sure.
drizzle.
Yeah.
We got Frankly Amish. Frankly Amish. Thank you. We got Mrs. Voidis. Thank you, Mrs. Voidis. Special thanks to the ghost of Dave Thomas.
Thank
Just hear him
you.
hunting
Ghost
a
Dave.
Wendy's in the sky.
Oh yeah, just wants to feed us double stacks from the afterlife.
Square patty.
Aaron Burser.
Yeah.
MVP. Adam, you want to handle some of the rest of these?
Knife Boot Hinson,
Knife
MBA/CPA.
Yeah, no
I
poop.
enjoy the
To get all
title
of his-
he's
wanted to get his-
acquired since I last see it.
Look, listen, he wanted to get his credentials in there.
Christopher Robert Sparts Esquire. Well done, sir.
Topher
Thank
Bobby.
you.
Mackenzie, Righteous Hand of the Lizard People, chill. Well done.
Woohoo!
Funky J.
Fuck Jay.
And
Breakdancing
Pie
Jesus.
Guy. Pie Guy.
Bye, guy.
Hi, guy!
You know, I've been realizing I yell these out, and like my window's open, and I have neighbors,
Right.
and they don't know
Gives
what
a-
They
I'm
already
saying.
know you're a maniac.
Fuck.
They know from what
Yeah,
you're
they
watching.
don't know why
Gives
I'm yelling
a
tip drizzle.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Right. They know.
It's the Purge
Yeah.
right now.
it's the Purge.
Dave, if they've been hearing you this whole time, just knowing your viewing habits alone is like, we got ourselves a fucking full-fledged 5-star maniac upstairs.
Yeah. No, they're probably just like, it's a podcaster. That guy's clearly a
Probably
podcaster.
influencing people as we speak.
Yeah. That's what I do.
Dave.
Yes.
Dave.
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Davidson.
What is it?
Do you have a movie that deserves more hype?
I do. Speaking of
Oh,
influencing
shit!
people. Yeah. This, I don't know how I feel about this movie, to be honest.
Boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
This is from Ireland. It's a horror movie called The Perished. It's out now on streaming. I am very curious about this film because, okay, so I've read a lot of reviews about it, and a lot of them say this movie handles its difficult topic with a lot of sensitivity, which I don't believe.
No way. No fucking
It's
way.
about a woman who gets kicked out of her house because she's seeking an abortion, goes to a house with her friend that turns out to be haunted by the spirit of aborted babies. Yeah. Of aborted fetuses, actually. They specify fetuses. Who turn into like a super ghoul fetus
Yeah,
at
like
the
a
end.
rat king. Like a rat king of fetuses.
Like a monster movie.
Like a Rat King, yeah.
So I don't fucking know.
It just seems like a pro-life take, right?
Yes, it seems like an awful
It does,
pro-life
very
take.
much so,
And
yeah.
When you watch the trailer, they do not depict the people mad at her about the abortion as good people. I don't know what it's trying to say.
It just seems like it's going to end up being like that movie that you and I watched, Tom. The 70s movie remake that the name just escaped me. With Bruce
Which
Willis. You and I watched that movie with Bruce Willis. It was a
Death Wish.
Yeah, Death Wish that ended up
Yes,
being
Death Wish.
pro-guns. And like probably
Right.
wasn't trying to be, but ended up that way.
It was. We couldn't tell if it was
Right.
pro guns.
Right.
The thing.
I think this is the same problem.
I've heard a lot of reviews of this that keep saying stuff like, hey, no matter your politics on this subject matter, it's a really good horror movie. Or some people just being like, yeah, just put those thoughts aside and watch the
Why?
movie. And I'm like, well, I don't know about that.
I don't know if I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, and it comes from a country that apparently has a lot of more controversy around abortion than we do, surprisingly enough. That
it was just made legal there like recently, right? I believe
yeah.
that-
So that's the thing. I'm very curious about this movie because the reviews again aren't saying that this movie's a mess politically. They're saying like, oh, it has a really it handles the message well, and it's like that doesn't sound like it does.
I mean, because they're not. No review's gonna want to weigh in too heavy on the politics, right? It's like nobody
Yeah.
wants to weigh in on the politics that heavy of this.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like,
I don't know.
the other thing is, imagine it is a pro-life movie. Like, let's just imagine that.
It could also be like it also feels like a Metalocalypse plot.
Sure.
Like it
Yeah.
feels like it could just be something like that, where they're just trying to do something so incredibly shocking. Someone said the one of the reviews said the ending is haunting. I don't know what that means.
Well, you're right. I mean, this is
yeah.
also pretty standard for a horror movie, right? But
Yeah.
just entertain with me very briefly this hypothetical. So imagine
Okay.
it is a pro-life movie. This is exactly the opposite way that you would want to make your case if you're a pro-life
Right.
filmmaker.
Which is why I think it isn't.
Right.
Yeah. Because it's so ghoulish. like that it can't possibly be that.
Right, because this isn't in any way inspiring a value for human life. Like, that's not what this is
Yeah.
doing. So, like, it's just weird and
Yeah.
makes you think about things you don't want to think about, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
about that, Dave.
Like a fetus rat king. Which this movie promises.
Right. With some
Yes.
kind of weird yowling. Like a yowling, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. That's as a horror movie.
We stan our yowling fetus rat king.
That's the thing. That's the. There's two part of me at direct conflict. It's the part of me that has interest in like human rights and politics, where I'm like, this doesn't seem like a responsible message. And then there's the horror movie fan part of me that's like, fetus rat king, sweet.
Yeah,
like,
give me that fetus raccoon.
Let it crawl
and
all
they're
over
at
me.
direct conflict. They're directly conflicting with each other right now.
fetus together,
And then it crawls.
make it a raccoon.
Oh my
Boy, this
god!
Al Pacino impression's given us a lot of mileage today.
Yeah.
It's the first time in my life I've ever actually publicly done an Al Pacino impression.
Oh.
Welcome to the highlight.
This is really special. Holy
Seriously,
shit!
yeah.
Holy
What a
shit, Tom.
treasure.
I didn't know that.
Thank God
Oh,
that
yeah.
in these troubled times, Tom's Al Pacino impression has made its
Someone
debut.
needs to. Someone needs someone needs to give Tom a cake. Mills a cake.
Mail Tom
Sure,
a cake.
send me a fucking
Let's
cake.
listen to this
Yeah.
episode 800,000 times because it's a greater debut than Quibi.
All right.
Oh yeah, yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
So I just thought of going back to the abortion
Thank you,
movie, bringing us back down, dragging us back down to that. I think the plot looking into it is that the house that they're in is where abortions were done illegally, and it might have something to do with how the legalization is good. That might be what they're
Right.
getting to.
It's still,
Maybe.
I
it's
don't
still
know.
basically The Shining.
With
Yeah, but with a
fetuses.
fetus rat king at the end.
right.
Yeah, like a fetus
Right.
rat king in a bear costume. You know, with
Sure.
Oh
a
shit!
Played
yeah.
by Al
with a
Pacino.
butler
Yes.
fetus rat
Yes.
king.
We're
Yeah.
putting it all
Yes.
together.
Yeah.
Al Pacino shows up, and then he kicks Johnny Knoxville in the balls,
Oh.
Yeah.
and then they purge all over each
Yeah.
other.
And then somebody shits in a mailbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They play
We're doing
tetherball with honeybees,
yes.
Tom. They play tetherball with honeybees in that Jackass movie.
Do they?
do. Yeah, they sure
Dress up in
do.
little bear outfits, and they do it.
Which one was that?
Three. The
Three?
one I treated
I don't
myself to
remember that
20
one.
minutes of.
Oh wait, no, I do remember that. That was great.
It's so
Yeah.
stupid. I can't even believe I did
Is
it.
that
Yeah,
one?
it's-
Okay, hold on. Is that my favorite Jackass bits? Are the ones where, like you said, they're dressed up, where like they have a bit planned,
Yeah.
and then they abort it almost immediately because it's so
Yes.
painful what's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
happening. Where they're just like they give up on doing a character.
Oh yeah, where
or
they're dressed
doing,
up like mice and they walk on the mouse
Yeah.
traps.
Yeah, and then it just becomes them like, okay, let's stop. I don't want to stop. This is bad. Yeah, I love
I also
those.
love the ones that are done in any kind of public where an actual human being has to deal with them. And not the ones where they're like harming people, but like, for instance,
No, but when they're harming each
yeah,
other in front
or
of
like
people.
my favorite one that I can think of offhand is like they were golfing one time, right? And they're like just golfing the wrong direction forever and putting a foghorn anytime somebody would take a swing.
Yeah, the foghorn
Oh,
was
they
great.
were-
That's the first one. That's the first
Yeah,
one.
they were directly fucking with people, but it was like I couldn't help but to laugh at that because
'cause-
it's so fucking
right.
funny.
Right, because it's like,
It's
who
like you'll
gives a
live,
shit?
bro.
Yeah,
It's
they're
fucking-
golfing.
You'll live.
Yeah, it's golf.
And then
Calm
some
down.
middle-aged
Yeah.
dude tees up and aims at him with his golf club. What a treasure! What
Yeah,
a treasure!
It's great.
Check
Oh
out,
man,
check
so
out
watch
Jackass.
Jackass.
I think that's the.
so
I think
watch
that's
Jackass.
been the moral of this Hypecast.
Yes, watch Jackass
Yeah.
and The Purge. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
where we
who
are.
gives a shit?
That's where we are. You don't need to clean up for us. Is the point? You know, you don't got to dress in your podcast tux to come listen to Hypecast.
No, hell no.
We'll take you as you
No.
are. We'll take you in your bear costumes with your honeybee stings.
Do not put on your Sunday podcast best.
Oh shit!
We will
Goodness.
turn you away until you come back in jean shorts with a bloody lip.
Yeah, that's our motto.
Yeah.
I think that's a sode.
Wow.
I think we
All
should
right.
be done now.
Episode. hell of a
It's a frothy sode.
Hell of a sode. Adam, thank you so much for doing the
guys. Thanks
show.
so much for having me. What a pleasure.
Where,
course, always.
Where can we find
Oh,
you? Explain yourself.
Oh, Dave, how dare you? How dare
Explain
you challenge
yourself.
me at the end of this? No, so you can find me on Twitter at The Real Gans. You can find 3 of my podcasts on the Small Beans Network, and those are the One-Upsmanship podcast about video games with my boy Mike Swaim, the Director Piece Theater podcast with my boy Abe, where we talk about the high art directing tactics of low art pop culture movies, and coming out, I believe, the same day as this Hypecast, my new podcast with Maggie Mae Fish entitled "I'll Show You Mine If You Show Me Yours." which is about how I describe this. It's about two friends comparing the pieces of media that mean the most to them around a prompt that the audience will be able to engage with further if you like it. And it comes out on Friday.
Oh,
Cool.
Yeah,
Sounds
we're
good.
excited about it.
Yeah, that sounds
Maggie
really
and I are
good.
pretty pumped. So that's all my
Cool.
things for now.
That's awesome. I'm very excited for that.
Thank you, Dave.
Dave, what are our things?
We have a Patreon. That's the one. Patreon.com/gamefully unemployed. We have exclusive podcasts there. Like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman and Fox Mulder is a Maniac. You should check it out.
Do it!
And you can become a Hypecast producer. You can produce this wonderful, wonderful podcast.
That Batman
Indeed.
show is exquisite, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
and
Yeah.
Jeff are twin treats.
It's delicious.
You guys are twin treats. God, I love you both. You're delicious.
Oh, I'm glad. We also have a store, tpublic.com/store/gamefully unemployed. But, I mean, we're not going to ask you to buy T-shirts right now.
Yeah, we've been through this already. Unless you
Every
need
week
T-shirts.
we go through this. You guys know the deal.
Just take care of yourselves, guys. It's tough.
It's the purge. Take care of yourself and shit in a mailbox.
Shit in a
Shit
mailbox.
Get
in
your
a mailbox.
finest bear costume. And dip your paws in honey, and then just stick them in garbage or whatever, and see what happens.
Yeah.
See what kind of content you get out of
Get
that.
into scraps.
Creative.
Get into scraps.
All right. Say goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can follow him on Twitter at @thecorlew, CORLEW, and find more music at shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown, and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.